right, welcome back to the Knives Fast channel, guys. Kansept is absolutely in the zone. Let me tell you, is this knife the Sparrow Knife Company designed Kansept Thoth? I think that's how you pronounce it. Is this the best Greg Schaub design for me that I've seen from Kansept? And let's dive in and find out. And by the way, guys, the first Kansept labeled hollow grind made by Kansept. Gotta love it. Stay tuned. Let's check it out. Again, it's spelled Thoth. Everybody's telling me it's Thoth, so we're going to go with that. 3.43 inches. Sparrow knife for Greg Schaub. Stonewash CPM 20 CV black wash titanium 80s camo carbon. A lot going on this one. A lot of different versions. Let's jump into this one and see what we have. Look at this blade, guys. We have a deep hollow grind with a stonewash finish and a dirty blade, which is fine. But what a fantastic looking design. Now, you will find that right off the bat, that blade shape reminds you a little bit of this bottom and the tip here of this guy. This is the Schaub designed Kansept Baba Yaga. Now, obviously, none of this looks the same, but that same kind of, you have the sheep's footy thing going on out here, a little smaller, hollow grind. Actually, yeah, this one's hollow, so it is the second one they've done. But still very, very cool. Indeed, you have a hole on this one, which I love. The Kansept logo there, the Schaub logo there. It is in 20 CV, which is written right there. Indeed, with the model number and then the name of the knife, which is the Thoth now, or the Thoth, yeah. So we have 80s camo carbon here. We have this really cool design on the pivot. How cool is that? It's almost like a wing or something. I like that a lot. You have these little marks in it. The inlay is fit around there really good, and it ends up, guys, with basically a sub frame lock is what I would call this. It's obviously a frame lock. It's not a bolster lock, and it is under here. Now, our lockup is really nice there, as you can see, like 30. No blade player lock rock. It is a solid rock. You have this really cool kind of fin up here that's not super big, but it provides you with kind of a thumb ramp, if you will. And then you also can land up here. We'll talk about that in a moment. Super thin. And again, we are contoured on the scales. We are full titanium black wash here. There is some milling for weight reduction in there. Really cool. You have a titanium clip. Really cool looking clip. Now you have about that much sticking out of the pocket. It is not reversible, and you do not have a lanyard hole. Now we are dead centered, and we come all the way out to the end, as you can see. Very cool design. Greg makes some really awesome, and I love the way the knife looks when closed. We talk about this all the time on the channel. One of my favorite things is, does the knife look cool while it's closed? And to me, this thing is super slick looking. Now, good detent. You can see on that middle finger flick, we're good. On the thumb flick, we're good. Now we fall to the thumb and we shake down. Really nice. And that detent, it is not coming out, and it is perfect for the middle finger flick. Now, 4-finger grip back here, which is great. And again, we're on this thumb ramp. You can kind of choke up on this flat area right here, and now you're up here, and I like that too, but I prefer the backed up grip because you have this nice locked-in grip. Now, there is one minor thing here. The chamfers are good, but because this is a little bit of a thicker frame, this part feels a little flat in the grip. It's not bad at all, and especially if you sort of relax the back of your hand back here. If you grip this really tight, you feel it, but if you kind of relax the back of your hand, it feels absolutely good. Now I just said a thing. Let's back this up, back the train up. We are 0.53, so again, a little thicker, than I usually is my preference, but not bad. And your blade stock is 0.137, so a little thicker, but again, Has to be when you're doing a hollow grind. It just does. All right, let's get a piece of cardboard here. And let's, oh my gosh, this thing, oops, that was me. Hold on. All right, there we go. If I can actually cut and not start in the sharpening choil. There we go. But really nice. You can see we're getting a very clean cut here. And very nicely done. When it first got here, I was doing some paper cutting with it. I haven't done any recently. Now, we'll say one little thing here. This is a sharpening choil, not really a finger choil, although you can kind of be in that. You just got to stay back. You can see we have a very subtle, plunge here that goes way out. And you can see after maybe 2 or 3 sharpenings, you're going to start to see that hump right there. There it is. You're going to start to get into that, that plunge with your sharpening. So just bear that in mind. It is what it is. That's how it's designed. And by the way, everybody loves hollow grinds, but that's one of the things when you're doing these deep hollows, you're creating this well right here, and you've got to get back up. So you got to either make that choice to do a hard plunge, or you better put that sharpening choil a little further out, and they just chose not to. So you have a great cutout for your lock access and a chamfer. So there is no issues with that whatsoever. Now, guys, this guy gets stupid thin behind the edge. You know I'm terrible at this, but we're going to try, see if I can get right on that. I am so bad at this. All right, hold on. We're killing the pace of the channel here. All right, let's see. No, yeah. Oh, there we go. So look at that, 0.012 of an inch. That is crazy, and we are grabbed onto it. So very thin, extremely thin for this knife. Now, the one thing I mentioned in some of my earlier videos is, now you see here, we're pretty thick back here, right where that, where that hollow grind comes up. And that can bind you just a little bit on these cuts. You see that? Because it's pushing against this cardboard and causing it to flare like that because it is so thick on the stock. So even though we have a very thin edge, bear in mind that, unless you stay more out here, you're going to end up with a little bit of binding right there. It's just something to bear in mind. It's not a big problem, just something to think about. Now, compared to the Ontario Rat number uno, you can see that it is taller and it is shorter. Rat number 2, it's bigger than the Rat 2 and still, like I said, taller. And I like that nice tall blade. You guys know that's a big deal for me indeed. So really cool knife. Now, specs wise and availability, there are still 7 different versions of this available. And this one is $245. And let's just go ahead and give our specs again. It is 20 CV on the steel, which I think is really nice. And of course, Camo Carbon, 8.03 inches overall with a 3.3 for blade length. Again, we already gave the blade thickness, 0.137. It is, they call it a clip point. It's more of a sheep's foot if you ask me, but that's okay. Stonewashed, 4.52 ounces overall. They do not give the HRC, which is, I wish they did, but that's okay. So if we go back to our versions, again, this one is $245. There is a $247 version that's the Lightning Strike Anno, and then there's several in that $245. There's another Lightning Strike one with black coating that's $233. And then there is actually a micarta inlay version for $199. And then there is, by the way, the version that I was talking about before, the first Lightning Strike is also Damascus, which is cool. And then there is a really cool twill carbon fiber one for $217.89. So there's tons of options on this, which I think is cool. So let's do our final comparisons here. Is this my favorite Shab Kansept design? So we have the Fenrir, which has been a big one for me. We have the Baba Yaga, and then we have the Thoth here. So I don't know. That's a great question. I still think the Fenrir is my favorite design of his. I love the way the Fenrir melts in my hand and has a little more of a contouring going on there. But I think the Thoth would be next, and then the Baba Yaga. But they're all fantastic options, and I love that they're doing hollow grinds on their models now. So cool. I would love a Fenrir with a hollow grind. That would be epic and awesome. So what do you guys think of this one? Give me a comment down below. Let me know, and also give me obviously a like, and make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell to all. So thank you guys so much for your support. Appreciate you very much, and thanks for watching the Knives Fast channel.